Hi, friends. This is the reading lesson for third grade. It's going to be split into two parts as we read this story. So today we're going to read part 1. We're going to read paragraphs 1 through 18. And then in the next video, we will finish the story. As we read, we are going to highlight key details. And then at the end of our reading today, we're going to do a short little summary. Please make sure that you have your booklets open to page 12, that you have a pencil and you have a highlighter. So our story today is called The Tale of King Midas, a Greek myth. And if you recall, a myth is a traditional story usually with people early in history, and it explains something, some sort of phenomenon, something that goes on, and it typically involves supernatural beings or events, so things that aren't actually real. So I want you, as we're reading, to see if you can figure out how this fits in as a myth. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and get started.
Read. Extended Read 1. Remember to annotate as you read.
The Tale of King Midas, a Greek myth, retold by Gare Thompson. Once long ago, there lived a rich king named Midas. Midas loved two things in his kingdom with all his heart. He loved his daughter, whose name was Marigold. Midas also loved gold. In fact, except for his daughter, Midas was fonder of gold than anything else in his kingdom. He loved gold more than his beautiful yellow flower garden. He loved gold more than a beautiful sunset. He loved gold more than a delicious feast. As time passed, Midas yearned for more and more gold. His dear Marigold would bring him pretty golden buttercups or yellow dandelions from his garden. Midas would smile and take the flowers. But once Marigold was out of sight, Midas would frown. "Why can't these flowers be real gold?" he wondered. "If they were, I would be so much happier." Every day Midas went to his favorite room, the treasury. There he counted his coins. Each month, his people paid their taxes in gold. Midas believed that gold gave him power. So if he had more gold, he would have more power. With more gold, he could become the most powerful ruler in the ancient world. Yet Midas was kind. He did not want to tax his people more than necessary. How then would he get more gold? "I must have more gold," Midas muttered to himself. With a sigh, he closed the door to his treasury. "I will take a walk in my garden. Maybe that will make me happy." Midas gazed out over his garden. Gold-colored buttercups, dandelions, and daisies danced in the breeze. His giant sunflowers had turned to face the sun. Their yellow petals shined like gold in the sunlight. Even the path Midas walked on had a golden glow. "My flowers are beautiful," sighed Midas, "but they are not real gold." Midas's happiness disappeared like smoke up a chimney.
Okay, friends. So let's go back and let's do some highlighting. There are so many details in this story. We want to make sure that we are really sticking to the key events that are going to help us understand this story. So we learn about King Midas and we know that he loves gold. And the only thing he loves more than gold is his daughter, Marigold. So let's think. What did we learn about King Midas? Grab your highlighters. And we know that he loves gold and he loves his daughter, right? So we should probably highlight that. He loves his daughter, Marigold, and he also loved gold. So those are two important things to note about King Midas. And as days went on, he decides he needs more gold. He yearns for more gold, so he needs more gold. So let's highlight that in paragraph 2. And so he goes into his treasury and he counts his coins, and he knows that he gets his gold from when the people pay taxes. But he wanted more gold, but he did not want to keep taxing his people. So now he's trying to decide, how is he going to get more gold without taxing or taking it from the people? He was kind and did not want to tax his people more than necessary. So now he's kind of bummed out, right? And he's like, what is going to make me happy besides gold right now? He's going to take a walk in his garden. So we can probably guess that something is going to happen in his garden. All right, let's keep reading.
Upon reaching the end of the path, Midas saw a satyr asleep in a bed of his golden flowers. The satyr was a strange creature that was half man and half beast. Satyrs usually stayed in the woods, playing music and helping the Greek god Dionysus. This satyr was old and thin, and Midas took pity on him. "Poor thing, he is tired and looks hungry. I will bring him some food," thought Midas as he went into his palace's kitchen. Back in the garden, Midas gently woke the creature and offered him some bread, olives, and water. Once the satyr was finished eating, Midas sent him on his way. Satyrs were not often treated well by people, so this satyr told Dionysus about Midas's kindness. As is the way of the gods, Dionysus decided to reward Midas. Suddenly a strong wind swirled, and Dionysus appeared in Midas's palace. At first Midas was startled, but once he recognized Dionysus, Midas graciously offered the god something cool to drink. "No, thank you," replied the god. His voice was soft and melodious like a flute. "You were kind to my satyr. He is old and often falls asleep these days." "He meant no harm. My flowers are very soft and inviting," commented Midas. "To reward your kindness, I will grant you one wish." The god smiled but also crossed his arms in a thoughtful pose. Midas was so overjoyed that he couldn't speak. Immediately he began to draw a mental list of wishes. "I could wish for a bigger palace," Midas said quietly.
Okay, friends. So now as King Midas is walking in his garden, he comes across a satyr. And it tells us here that a satyr was a strange creature that was half man and half beast. They usually stay in the woods playing music and helping the Greek god Dionysus. And Midas took some pity on him. He felt bad for the satyr. He thought he looked tired and hungry, so he decided to bring him some food. So let's get our highlighters and let's kind of go through and highlight what we feel is important there. So we know that King Midas saw a satyr asleep in a bed of his golden flowers. Now, if you want to highlight what the satyr is, you may do that. And then we know that King Midas was so kind that he woke the creature up and offered him some bread, olives, and water. What a kind thing to do. So, since satyrs were often not treated well, the satyr went back and told Dionysus how kind King Midas was. Don't you love it when people are extra kind to you? So let's highlight the satyr told Dionysus about Midas's kindness, and because of that, the Dionysus decides, whoops, to reward Midas. So Dionysus appears to King Midas, and of course, King Midas is very kind to him as well, right? So we know Dionysus appeared in King Midas's palace. And he tells Midas that he is going to offer him one wish. So that's down here in paragraph 13. It says, "To reward your kindness, I will grant you one wish." The god smiled, but also crossed his arms in a thoughtful pose. So then Midas is so excited, he starts thinking, what is he going to wish for? I personally was surprised that the first thing he thought of, that he didn't think of wanting more gold first. That's me personally. But let's see, maybe he wants more gold. Maybe that's on the next page. So go ahead and put the cap on your highlighter and we will continue reading.
"Is that your wish?" asked the god. "No, that is not my wish," Midas quickly answered. He had to wish for something special. Suddenly, Midas sat up straight, and his eyes glowed. He knew exactly what to wish for, and his wish would indeed make him the most powerful king in the ancient world.
Okay, we're going to stop right there. I know it's kind of like a cliffhanger, right? So we find out in paragraph 18 that King Midas decides what he's going to wish for. So it's not going to be that big palace, but it's going to make him something it's going to be something that will make him powerful. So we know that Midas knows exactly what to wish for, and it'll make him the most powerful king in the ancient world. Okay, we're going to stop there for today's reading. Tomorrow we will read the rest of the story. I want you to start thinking, what do you think his guess is? It's not a big palace. Is it going to be gold, do you think? Is it going to be something for his daughter who he loves more than gold? I don't know. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to write a little summary. And we are going to do this summary on page 16. So you can put your highlighters down and you can grab your pencil. Oops, and we're going to write our summary. Right here. So on page 16, and we're going to write part of this together and you're going to do part of it on your own. So we learned that King Midas loves gold and wants more of it, right? He doesn't want to what? Go ahead and fill in that blank. He doesn't want to overtax his people. But now he starts thinking of it in a different way, right? He goes for a walk in his garden and meets an old hungry and tired what? Satyr. Good. He is very kind to him. So the satyr does what? Goes back to Dionysus and reports that King Midas is so kind. Make sure you capitalize Dionysus because that is the name of the god. Oops, I forgot a word here. He is very kind to him. Sorry about that. The satyr goes back to Dionysus and tells him. Now I want you to finish. I want you to write one more sentence. What happens next because of King Midas's great act? Pause the video and finish this summary. Okay, so King Midas now is granted a wish from Dionysus. He decides what to wish for. Now, if your end of the summary isn't the same as mine, is that okay? You bet. Everyone is a different type of writer, so you will have different ideas in the way that you write things as I will. Okay, so this is the end of the first part of our story, and we kind of leave it with this cliffhanger. He decides what to wish for, but we don't know what it is yet, do we? Maybe we have some guesses. Okay, that's it for today, friends. Great job. See you later.